Hello, welcome to Python tutorial today. Today we're going to discuss about creating a Python script which actually can ping multiple devices at a time. In a practical network environment, we may run into situations where we were asked to check the reachability of network devices, a bunch of network devices as a whole, especially the times when there is a network outage and then network restored. After that, now we need to ensure that all the network devices are reachable. So, in such situations, pinging each and every network device is really hectic. If your environment is extensively large, it's completely not possible that you may be able to keep on pinging each and every network device. Well, you might have the network monitoring tools which will do the job for you. Um, that being said, when you wanted to specifically monitor specific bunch of IP addresses, you need some sort of tool. So that is why we're here. Today we're going to use Python to create such a tool. For that scenario, we're creating a lab. I'm using Eve next generation software, which is actually a network simulator, a powerful network simulator, using which I created a loopback network, which actually connects to my real network. And I placed a switch and I created some of the hosts. So basically, this simulates a real-time network where you have many network devices. So assume that each and every host here is resembles some sort of network device in your environment. Okay, so how do you do that? So first, let's check whether we have reachability from these PCs to the gateway. The gateway is in the loopback network. So for that, let's see. So this is my VPC2, which is nothing but this, and the IP address for that is 192.168.0.1. My gateway is 192.168.0.1. So let's see if I have the reachability with my gateway. Okay, I have. Awesome. So let's see if I can actually ping from my network, from my host to these virtual machines. So how do you do that? Let's ping the VPC2 in reverse 106. Yes, I have the reachability. Awesome. So do I have the reachability to the rest of the virtual machines? I think yes, I have. I tried to ping VPC3. I think I have the response back. So this is pretty good. Let's try to see if I can ping my gateway from here as well. Yes, I'm able to ping my gateway as well. Awesome. So now we have a network ready with the number of hosts. And how do we use Python to automate this job for us? Okay, for that we need to capture all the IP addresses of these machines and put them in a file. So I actually created a file called devices.txt where I kept all the IP addresses of the virtual networks. My gateway is there. One of my physical machine is there. All the machines that are connected to my network are here. Yeah, let's take this out. It's not needed for now. I don't have 203, 202, and 203. So these are the machines that I have in the network now, right at the moment. So I'm using Python IDE integrated development environment. It's called PyCharm. This is PyCharm. I'm using community version. You can also use this. Okay, so using PyCharm, I created a new file called ping.py. How do you do that? I'll go to new Python file and it's gonna be ping bulk, let's call that, and it's my Python file. I don't need to give .py, I believe. It's going to take that. Yes. So I don't need that old file. So this is I have. So this IDE is quite useful. It has good syntax support. It will give you the good suggestions, command suggestions whenever you stuck somewhere. So I actually prefer this apart from the other IDE environments. So let's get started. For this to work, we need to use something called subprocess, a library which is available in the Python programming language. What is subprocess? Let's talk a little about that. Okay, for example, whenever we ping, ping basically works from shell. What are the other things that we do from shell? We check the uptime, we check I don't know, maybe we check the IP addresses, and we check where are we, present working directory, change directory. So these are the commands that we execute in the shell. I'm basically running this in Linux machine, so these are the commands that we basically use in the shell. So I don't know, let's check what kind of shell I'm running. Shell, yeah, I'm using bash. So bash is definitely the most popular shell as of now. So these are the commands that I actually run in the bash. So if I execute pwd, then I get some response. I also execute ls, then I get some of the files here, and what else? I run cd to change directory, ifconfig, I get the output. So these are the commands that we basically run in the shell. Likewise, ping is also a kind of command. Ping is also a bash command. We can launch from bash. For example, I'm trying to ping my loopback and then I get response. So subprocess basically what it does is it actually creates a process in line with the shell, and it captures the output into the standard output stdout. So whatever the command that we're executing here is the standard input. Whatever the output we received here is the standard output. And sometimes we also get some standard errors. For example, I said this doesn't exist, command not found. So this is a standard error. So these are the standard input output error operations that are available in this subprocess module. So why do we need that? Because we are actually automating the ping process from the command prompt. We need subprocess to do that job for us. So let's get started. How do we do it? First, let's import subprocess, and let's create a function which says ping IP, which actually takes an argument as an IP address, and subprocess. For subprocess to ping all the hosts in the network, we need to supply some commands to it. Uh, Subprocess basically takes some arguments. I'm going to show that in a moment. Yep. So subprocess, see, it's auto suggesting. This is the beauty of PyCharm. I like it. Subprocess has a class called Popen, which actually creates a process with shell, and we can run some commands from here. So all the commands that we enter here is going to be given as items in a list. So ping, and ping is going to take an argument of an IP address, which actually goes as a list item. And I would like to limit with the count. So minus C is to limit the count of pings that we generally execute. This is a Linux machine, so it's going to take minus C. If it is a Windows machine, we need to supply minus N, and then I want to limit it for one ping. Okay, let's do it for two. All right. So this actually takes some arguments. The first argument is standard input, which is nothing but subprocess pipe output. Pipe is basically a part. Pipe is basically part of subprocess, which actually controls the standard input, standard output, and standard error the channels. So this subprocess is going to give us a tuple with standard input, standard output, stdout, subprocess.pipe. Yeah, and I think, and we need to use another subcommand called communicate, which actually talk to the subprocess and get us the results. Let's all capture it gives us some output, so let's capture that output into s. I'll say output comma error. It's going to give us two outputs. So this is it, pretty much it. And the subprocess will try to initiate a process which actually takes this ping command, and the output from this ping command is going to be redirected to standard out subprocess, and which will be extracted into now a variable called output. So what do we want to do with that output? For example, let's go back to our command prompt. Here I am. I try to ping one of the host, and I got some output. So my output basically consists of some binary data. This binary data, in this binary data, I need to find for some tracks, some keywords using which I can take a decision whether the response is good or bad. Why? Because when we ping, we get different type of responses for reachable and not reachable hosts. I'm trying to ping a machine which is not in the network, and I have a different output. I should see a different output from what I see here. Okay, it's taking quite a while. Yeah, so which actually said 100% packet loss. Let's try to do that for two times. Yes, so it basically gave us another ICMP error message saying destination host unreachable with 100% packet loss, which is quite different from what we have for a successful host. For successful host, we have a reply from some bytes received from the host, and there's a time to live value and the round trip times. So a successful machine output is different from a down machine response. So we need to clearly find the keywords using which we can take a decision whether the ping is successful or not. So how do we do that? So let's find some keywords. So what I find here is for the successful machines there is something called bytes from in return, and for non-successful machines, unsuccessful machines, the output contains destination host not reachable. So let's start with these two keywords and see how it looks like. So I'm going to use a if I'm going to use if else conditions basically. So this is binary data. I need to use B option for the before the output, before the strings. So if I have bytes from in output, I'm going to return it's up pretty much. Okay, elif. What else if? Yeah, for the down machines, I have destination host not reachable. It's in output. I'm going to return down. What else I have? I have up machine. I have down machine. Well, I think that's pretty much it. We're going to use these return values to make some meaningful messages. Okay. In any other case, I'm going to say unknown for safer side. Let's see. Yes. So this is pretty much it. This is my function. So now what? If you remember, we have captured all the IP addresses in our text file, devices.txt, and we are going to read this file, go through line by line, find out each and every IP address, and we're going to run this through this function. So how do you do it? For this, we're going to use a function called with open the file name devices.txt as file, and for each and every IP in file, I'm going to run ping.ip, ping underscore IP with an IP address, and I'm going to get some response back. And I want to use this response to print some meaningful messages. I'm going to use string formatting. String formatting basically consists of string formatters like this. So this is going to be my IP address, and I want to separate that with the comma so that we can use that output in a meaningful way. And this is going to take two values. One is my IP address, and then another one is my response. Yes, I think this is pretty much it. Let's see if we can get some results. So I'm going to run this. Okay, some error. Okay, let's find out where is that. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. We're going to take this line by line. I've taken subprocess.Popen, which actually took 4 arguments. One of them is ping IP minus E2. Okay, this is fine. Communicate, this is fine. I'm going to read that from all the output. Okay, let's try to print the output and see what we have in it. Okay, something wrong. Okay, what is this? This is not ping. This is ping underscore bulk py. Okay, let's save this. Okay, and then yes. So we have some output here. We're getting some response. Never mind, that was the problem with IDE. This PyCharm, it was taking an old file, but we got some good response back. So let's take this print out and see if we can get some meaningful messages. Yes, we have some response. 192.168.0.1 is up, 2 is down, up, up, up. Okay, we're getting some response. Yes, but this is not in a right format. You might see that, yeah, there is a new line character at the end of the IP address, which is actually pushing the response to a new line. So let's remove that. How do we do it? So we need to use a function called strip, which actually strips the new line character. What is new line character? It's /n. So let's try to ping and see. Yes, now we have some meaningful messages. Script is executing. Yes, it reported that 192.168.0.2 is down. Let's go back and see if it really is down. 192.168.0.2. Okay. Yes, it's destination host not reachable. That's absolutely right. That's fine. What is this? A new line character. Okay, yeah, there is some new line character at the end of it, which actually treated it as an IP address, which is crazy, but yeah, that's how it is. Okay, let's rerun it again. We're getting some good response. 2 is definitely down. Yes, 192.168.0.115 up. Absolutely. So there is no problem with the script. We're getting all the results. Fine. There are scenarios where you would like to, you know, ping the host names. We so far we have pinged the IP addresses. Now we could also go back and check if we can ping with the host names. I have feelings that we might get some different responses if we try to ping with the host names. Let's see how it looks like. Let's try to ping a local host. It's doing pretty good. Same output, so bytes from is capturing, so we'll get that. Let's try to ping some different host name which doesn't exist and see the result. It's trying, and then we got some unknown host and then host name. So let's try to include that in our text file and see how we can get the response. Okay, I'm going to run it. I'm just waiting for the script to finish it. And then we have some unknown host name. Let's see how Python gives us. Okay, it gave us localhost 1 unknown because it matched else condition. It, it did not meet the first condition, neither the first nor the second, but it is unknown. And interestingly, there is something highlighted here in red color. This is not something we want in our output. This is this is a command error, and we want to actually capture this, and we don't want to push that in the output. We actually want to catch this and then give us some meaningful messages. So what is basically this is nothing but the standard error because ping command is unable to resolve this back to any host name. So that is captured under error message. So now let's try to catch. If we get error, let's return not unknown but DNS error, and else return unknown. Yes, there we go. And let's try to execute it and see if we get some good meaningful messages. We still have the issue. This is not the output we would like to see. Why it is doing it? Yes, because the standard error is not being sent to the pipe command and not being captured. It is throwing it on the console. So somehow we need to capture this into the pipe. We need to channel it through the pipe and append it into the output. So how do we do it? Let's capture the standard error. Stderr is nothing but subprocess.pipe. So now we have captured, we have redirected the standard errors through the pipe. So this should be reflecting here. So this error is called here. So now we should be seeing some meaningful message. Let's execute it. Okay, this is going good. Yes, finally we have meaningful message. The standard error is not being thrown on the console. So yeah, this is pretty much good. So now we have meaningful messages with all the DNS errors. Now we may want to redirect this output into a file wherein we can export that to an Excel sheet and filter it through all the hosts which are down, up, status like that. So how do we do that? For that we need to redirect this output to some variable called result. I would like to create an empty string saying, I don't know, um, L is nothing. Yeah, L is an empty string, and I would like to append this result with L always. Result, yes. And I also may need to append that with a new line character. So all the response will go into the result. The result is written, is added to L, and the new result is again added to the L. So L becomes literally the longer string with all the new line characters, and we can actually write that to a file now. So let's try to print and see how L looks like. Yeah, L is pretty much good. L is growing. Yes, it's growing. It's growing. It's definitely growing. And then yes, finally we have it. So this is good. Now what? We have all the output in a variable. So now let's create a new file using Python and write this all the output from L to Python. So how do we do that? So for that, let's create a file. The file name is open output.txt, and I want to open this in write mode so that I have write access to it. And then I want to write L into the file, and I want to close this. So L basically consists of now the output.txt consists of all the output that is being received by L and dumped into output.txt. So it's no more printed on the console, but it's been saved into a file called output.txt. So let's see how it looks like. Let's execute this. It's being executed. I could see it's busy. The process is busy. Let's wait to see how we get the output. Yes, finished with exit code 0, which means absolutely fine. I have output.txt and it consists of all the statuses. Hola! So this is it. We have list of IP addresses and then we got output in a file. Now I can use calc. I don't think if I have Excel. No, I don't have. Yeah, but you can use your Excel program to read through this data and separate this with the comma separator, and it becomes a good Excel sheet wherein you can find the statuses in a separate column. You can filter through that, find out which are the hosts which are down, find out which are the hosts which has DNS problems, stuff like that. Awesome. Hope you liked this video. I'll post you more of such practical Python scripts in our next coming videos. Till then, bye bye. Have a good day.